I've had engineers and HVAC, people who work for heating and cooling, come to some of my seminars, and they would say, all 1500 watt heaters make the same amount of heat. You 1500 watts of electricity, they all make the same amount of heat. And so I would always ask, is there an engineer or HVAC person in the audience? And when there is, I always had them come up. And I had them do the exact same test that Sherry did. And they'll see that my heater makes way more. And without exception, every time they said, I've learned something new today. My name is Jeff Pfeiffer. I own Heat for Less. I started in 2008. As far as I know, I am the oldest infrared heater company in the country. So in order for my heater to be the best, it needed to make the most heat, it needed to be safe, and it needed to be built strong. The most important thing is that it makes the most heat, because it's a heater. So what I'd like to do with this demonstration today is compare mine with, this is Edenpure. It's called Copper Smart. Now, you may have heard of copper heat exchangers, or copper helps make more heat. Well, that is all false advertising. Copper does not produce heat. Copper holds heat, but you're not trying to heat the copper, you're trying to heat your room. So what I've done is, I've taken some infrared heaters, taken the copper completely out, and it makes the exact same amount of heat. It does not make more heat because there's copper. Copper does not make heat. What I like to do here is we test how much heat Edenpure is producing, and then how much mine is producing. This is a laser gun. You can buy them at a hardware store, and it tells you what the temperature is. So what we'll do is we will put it in here. And a volunteer. Sherry, is that your name?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see from there how much that is by any chance?
148.
148, 150. I'm trying to find the hottest spot. Are you willing to be a volunteer? We have a volunteer. Sherry, come on up. Now, I want you to hold it there as long as you can. Stopwatch, there we go. And when and put it in the middle and touch it just like that. There you go. Okay? And just hold it there. Now, if it gets so hot that you can't hold your hand there, then you pull your hand away. Otherwise, just stand there and hold your hand there as long as you can. Okay? So we'll see how brave she is. Now, I find that some women are much stronger than men. So I had one man hold his hand we'll wait till we get to mine, but so far you're doing it. Is it like hot, warm?
It's to the point where it's almost uncomfortably warm. But
okay, we're up to 30 seconds. We won't make you go past 40 seconds. How's that? Okay. 40 seconds, okay, thank you.
Okay.
So you could have held your hand there more if you
yeah.
needed to. It wasn't that hot,
No.
okay? So what we'll do is we'll turn this one off, and we'll plug the Home Comfort infrared heater in. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll test my Home Comfort heater here. We'll start with the laser gun. Now, can you see from there or not? Oop, I need to get it.
Yeah, you need to aim. There you go.
Okay. So now, Sherry, to be fair, I hate to call on you again, but if I call on somebody else, we might get different results. So go ahead and do the exact same thing here. All right, go. Okay. Now go ahead and touch it there now, girl. Come on.
It's hot.
It's hot.
I'm done.
You're done. Okay, we're up to 6 seconds on that one, so thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, thank you so much. So I remember I was watching on television one of these networks, the shopping networks, one of those things, and the guy's there with a laser gun like this, and he's going, look, it goes all the way up to 200 degrees, and the lady's, wow, 200 degrees, you know, and I'm in the living room watching this thinking, wow, 200 degrees, mine's over 600 degrees, you know. So anyway, the Home Comfort heater makes the most heat out of every one we've tested. We've tested about 40 different brands, and we haven't found any that make as much heat as ours. So as you see on the signage here, that each of these are right around 200, most of them are less than 200 degrees is what they're going to produce, okay? Mine is over 600. Now there's two types of infrared. You have quartz infrared, quartz is glass, mine is quartz. Then you have PTC infrared. PTC stands for positive temperature coefficient. So it is infrared, but it's a different type of infrared technology. So all the ones up here that are 200 degrees, or actually less than 200 degrees is the heat coming out, they're all PTC. Most infrared heaters made today are PTC because they're cheaper to make. Now, even out of quartz, there's different technology with quartz. There are some quartz heating elements will go up to 300 degrees, some go up to 400 degrees. I have one that went up to 500 degrees. None of them go over 600 degrees like mine do. And I've had engineers and HVAC, people who work for heating and cooling, come to some of my seminars, and they would say, all 1500 watt heaters make the same amount of heat. You 1500 watts of electricity, they all make the same amount of heat. And so I would always ask, is there an engineer or HVAC person in the audience? And when there is, I always had them come up. And I had them do the exact same test that Sherry did. And they'll see that my heater makes way more. And without exception, every time they said, I've learned something new today. It's sort of like the light bulb, okay? You can take an incandescent light bulb that's 100 watts, and 20 years ago, if someone would say, you know what, you only need to use 15 watts to make that same amount of electricity, 20 years ago, people wouldn't have believed that. It just is so crazy, because we've always known you needed to use 100 watts to make that much electric. But now with LED lights, you only need 15 watts. So that's with the lighting industry. In the heating industry, it's the same thing. My heating elements is the newest technology in the infrared industry. My heating elements make 2 times more heat than a whole bunch of other infrared heaters, using the same amount of electricity, but mine make more heat.